All right, welcome everyone to One Bite Nutrition's video podcast. Um, my name is Wendy Castle. I'm the owner of One Bite Nutrition. I'm here with Nikki Bomar, one of our dietitians. Super excited to have her here and super excited about this topic because I'm a dietitian, but I'm a little bit of a picky eater too. We're going to talk about overrated health foods and just kind of go through things that are marketed as healthy, but are they really healthy? And maybe we can look at some common foods and what dietitians think of eating them as being overrated. So, they come across as marketed as super healthy, but might not have that full nutrient profile that we can find in other foods or find in other foods just as well as that one. So, Nikki, what health food do you think is the most overrated health food?
Yeah, so I might get a lot of flack for this one, but kale. I feel like it is so overused. I really prefer the texture of spinach over kale in most dishes. Just something about the texture for it just really does not do it for me.
Yep. Ding, ding, ding. I'm a texture person too. Kale is not my favorite. If it's in a salad, I mean, I might not pick it apart, but I'm not going to eat that first either. Yeah, I'm a texture person. It really kind of gets to me. I'm with you. I really like spinach. It's just, I mean, nutritionally, I think they're comparable. Therefore, if you don't like the texture of kale, use a substitute and you'll be just fine, you know.
Okay.
Don't eat kale because I know some people just eat food because it's healthy. They're like, oh, I hate
Mhm.
this, but I'm going to eat it because it's healthy. I'm like, no, I'm not going to eat it, even if it's healthy. I'll find a substitute that I do like. Um, so what about superfood powders? Are they worth the price?
So I would so much rather clients get those vitamins from the real deal, those fruits and veggies. They can be so expensive, the powders. Um, for not much benefit, right? We have to think of how much processing goes into something like that. And the more we process something down, it changes how those vitamins look to our body, right? And so our body, when we eat the real foods, it processes them exactly how we need them to. Right. And so if it is the, absolutely only way I'm going to get any vitamins that I would get from fruits and veggies, okay, maybe we can talk about it. But I just really think that they are really expensive for not much benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big proponent of getting it from the food first. You're going to get the fiber from the food if you get it from a fruit or vegetable. You're going to get the satiety. I'm one of those persons where I have to chew in order to feel full. I could drink a whole smoothie and I'm like, okay, so where's my meal now?
Yep.
One of the other things is what are you mixing it with? So a lot of people are mixing it as part of a smoothie, and then we're adding tons and tons and tons of calories. And then you get the nutrients from whatever those foods are you're putting in the smoothie too,
Yeah.
and you can only absorb so much at a time. And then again, your kidneys are going to filter in and they're going to kick out all that excess. Your body can only handle so much at a time. So how much are you really absorbing if you're putting all of this stuff together?
All together. Yeah.
Okay, next one. This one, I mean, I still feel like it's not as fatty as it was a few years ago, but it's still being brought up in many different areas. So is coconut oil actually good for you to consume?
So my vote is no on this one, right? It's that saturated fat, which is the unhealthy fat, is what you'll see that labeled as. Um, and honestly, just the mouthfeel of any time you use coconut oil. It's just not there. It's just not there for me. Again, like you, I'm a huge texture person. Um, I've seen people just like take spoonfuls of coconut oil. Don't understand how they can do that. Where I know a lot of people use it for like skincare and things like that. So maybe put it on our skin rather than in our bodies.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my vote too, is, if you're using it topically, great. I probably wouldn't recommend ingesting it. I did read the study that kind of changed professionals' thoughts on coconut oil and why this kind of fad came about. And really, when you're ranking the oils, they used to put coconut oil behind lard. Like it was worse than lard. That's where it was when you were ranking it. And now they boosted it up and I agree with the new studies. Yeah, it should be. But when you're replacing coconut oil with olive oil, I don't think that that was a smart swap, right? And patients aren't seeing that. They're just seeing the marketing behind coconut oil. So you have to see what the comparison is and why we're using it. And not just going to it because it's marketed as healthy. And how much are you consuming? Because again, fats are most caloric dense nutrient. So regardless whether it's a healthy fat or not, we still have to be mindful of how much you're having. Okay, so what's an overrated snack that is marketed as healthy?
Yeah, and just like you said, the marketing with products is usually what gets most consumers, right? So my answer to this one is fruit snacks. Now, don't get me wrong, I love fruit snacks. The texture, perfect for me. But a lot of companies are promoting them as, like a fruit replacement, basically. And that's really not what they are. And so I think they're great. They're good, fun food, but they are definitely overrated as a healthy snack.
Yeah, absolutely. I support you on that too. My kids always complain that I don't buy them the fun food because I don't get them fruit snacks. I think our dentist would thank us for that too because it gets stuck in their teeth, create cavities. I put it on the same wavelength as like Skittles, you know.
Yeah.
It might have a little vitamin C, but most people aren't lacking in that. So yeah, a sometimes snack, a fun snack. And I'm not dissing anybody. I'm a child when it comes to the store. The marketing people know me. And so one of the things that I do is, I do my list online and I either do grocery pickup or, we do have delivery now, but that way I'm not tempted by the marketing because I'm a child. Like if I see SpongeBob or Scooby-Doo, whatever, and then the regular, I'm getting the character every time, hands down. I mean, I'm not even looking at the nutritionals. I'm sold. So I really get duped by marketing, and I think a lot of people are along those lines. We're emotional people, and food for most people is not just nourishment. Even very strict dieters. I mean, there's a social aspect. Of course, there's going to be that marketing and feelings behind food. So yeah, just don't get duped by that, and make smart choices. And one of the tools that I use is to not be fooled by the marketing. I stay out of the stores. I order it online based on a list. When I'm out of an ingredient, I'll just put it in my list and kind of grow up from there. What about an overrated drink? What is something that people are drinking and you're like, oh, that's really not that healthy?
Yeah, so excuse me. I go with the juices and like those like juice cleanse juices is what I think of when I think of this. It's like the blended ones, those are like they're really thin. It's literally just the juice, not like a smoothie type of thing. They have those vitamins and minerals in them, but they lack that fiber component. That I mean, fruits and veggies, they have a ton of fiber in them. That's our one of our highest high fiber sources in our diets. So that's just where I think they're just overused and overhyped sort of thing. It's a no for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of that it's kind of a dual fold for me. Some of it's portion. A juice glass is 4 ounces. It's tiny. I haven't even seen 4 ounce glasses on a shelf anywhere in America. Like we don't use 4 ounce glasses. But it's very, very small. It's a half a cup. And so if you are drinking juice, you need to portion it. And then the diabetes care and education specialist in me kind of comes out and I'm like, oh, like that's a lot of carbs all at once. That's no fiber to balance it out. Typically, no protein unless it's artificially added in there. Your pancreas can't keep up with that. It can't keep up with that amount of instant carb. And just for example, if somebody comes into the hospital and they're conscious and they have a low blood sugar, the first thing we give them, orange juice.
Is juice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
orange juice. It shoots your blood sugar up within seconds. And so, doing that time over time over time, and including multiple portions of that, can wreak havoc on your body. So, yeah, I would 100% support that. There's other ways to get those nutrients in, and think of how much fruit and or vegetables have to go into that to make that product.
Yes.
Like how many oranges have to be fresh squeezed to be in an 8 ounce glass? Like it's a lot, and you wouldn't eat that many. So, anyway, yep, totally support that. Oh, this one hurts me. Are protein bars healthy?
Yeah, so this one is so dependent on what the bar is and why am I eating them,
Mhm.
right? Because again, it's kind of like some other things we talked about. There are so many brands out there now because this is such an overhyped product. Some of them have a really, really high sugar content, so we have to be super careful about what is this? Again, that carb to protein ratio in that actual bar. You know, it can say a protein bar. That doesn't mean it's a high protein bar or a low carb bar or a low sugar bar at all. At
Mhm.
all. So we really have to be intentional of looking at those nutritionals on these.
Absolutely. Protein bars, before I became a dietitian, when I was younger, I used to eat them a lot. I was an athlete. I'd eat protein bars. After becoming a little more informed over decades, I guess. I can say that now after decades. Yeah, they're like kind of like a glorified candy bar. Like they're a little healthier than a candy bar, but I want you to put them on that same wavelength. You know what I mean? You're not going to eat a candy bar every day typically, right? Or multiple times a day. I know some people that, I'll have a pre-gym protein bar and a post-gym shake or vice versa. Like, ooh, that's kind of a lot of artificial food in there. So yeah, I'm kind of along those lines. Um, there are protein bars out there that are a little bit cleaner. But yeah, talk with your dietitian if that's something that you're currently using and you're looking for a healthier brand. Because I know people do use them as a tool, and that's okay. But there are some different ones on the market that are a little bit cleaner and not quite candy bar-ish. What about plant-based milks? There's people that have milk allergies, milk intolerance. What about, I mean, and there's a ton of plant-based milks on the market right now. Are plant-based milks healthy?
So again, this is another depends one, right? Again, if you can't tolerate cow's milk, then obviously we need to find a replacement for that. So I usually go with soy milk as my first, line of defense there, simply because it has the most similar nutritionals to cow's milk of our plant-based milks. Right, so I still have some protein and that carbs in there. I think what really dings plant-based milks is that so many versions of them have that added sugar nowadays. Right. And so, I mean, I know we're not expecting to buy, a plant-based almond milk with no added sugar, right? Or a chocolate milk, almond milk, right, with no added sugar. I would never expect that. But for just like a plain almond milk, I don't want any added sugar in there is our biggest component there. So again, it really just depends on what's specifically going on. Why can't we have cow's milk? And again, how are we using them? Am I drinking this all day? Will I only drink this? So it really just depends on this one for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the only milk drinker in my household, and so we are for the most part, like a dairy-free family. And since my kids were young, I had to choose a nutritionally comparable milk source, and yeah, soy was where it was because of the protein content. Almond milk is very low calorie, low fat, low protein. When you've got growing brains and bodies, you need a little bit of that. So. And yeah, you can get in other sources and in other foods, but my kids aren't big milk drinkers to begin with. But on the occasion where they want a little bit of cereal, or we need to water down a smoothie in some way, like yeah, it's a great replacement. Um, okay, apple cider vinegar shots. I think this was super popular a while back. I still see a little bit of it, not quite as much as we had maybe a couple of years ago. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so they were so popular, you're right, a few years ago between like just taking a shot of it or like a gummy with it. And so these are a huge no for me, right? They aren't melting away fat, but they do a lot of damage to your tooth enamel and your esophagus. And so, right, I had some patients come to me, okay, well, I'm doing this, but my reflux is so bad now. And I'm like, well, yeah, of course it is. So yeah, these is our big no for me, right? The studies just are not there to show us that these are beneficial in that way, especially with, again, that counter damage that it can do to our teeth and our esophagus.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of got to look at, the full picture. And yeah, I mean, it's acidic, just like anything else that is acidic. You got to be really careful, with your teeth, your esophagus, particularly if you have heartburn or you're prone to heartburn. Yeah, you kind of got to look at the full picture on that. All right. So to wrap it all up, what is your biggest healthy marketing pet peeve?
Okay, definitely marketing things as gluten-free or non-GMO when the original product does not contain gluten-free or does not contain gluten and there isn't a GMO of that product. I think it was like orange juice I saw labeled as gluten-free the other day. I was like, when did orange juice ever get gluten in it? Yeah, I just really think that companies are using the gluten-free and the non-GMO label as a marketing technique, which again, they can throw those on there, charge 50 cents more for each container that they sell. Smart on the marketing side, but really, really confusing to our clients and our patients on the nutrition side.
Yeah, absolutely. And same thing with like people that market it as cholesterol free. Well, if it's not an animal product and doesn't contain an animal product, it's going to be cholesterol free. So it's kind of like, ugh. But a lot of people just wouldn't know that. Like if you didn't live in this world, I mean, it's very possible people don't know that stuff.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, so, just kind of a reminder to everyone, marketing companies are very good at what they do. Protect yourself as a consumer and as a patient. Look a little bit deeper. If you have any questions, you can ask, one of our dietitians. You can go to onebitenutrition.com, book directly with us, or you can comment below and we'll reach out. But yeah, ask us if you have any of those questions. We'll try to decipher some of this stuff for you.